AITA for telling my younger brother that I'm not his dad. I'm 19. My younger brother, let's call him Ed, in question is father 49, has been in and out of our lives for the past 6 years. He was working abroad and providing for us during that time, but as kids have slowly started to forget his presence around the house. In 2021, he had a huge fight with my mother 48 and decided to leave us under the guise of visiting his relative's funeral. We haven't seen him since. It's been very tough for my mother, who's tried her utmost best to make the best of such an awful situation for us kids without much. My siblings and I, mostly a bunch of teens, have tried our best to make things generally easier for her, including assisting in the raising up of Ed. Ed always used to call me by my name, but recently, like a few months ago, he's picked up the habit of calling me Dad. I felt very awkward at first, but after some thought I figured it was an honest mistake and didn't pay much attention to it. It didn't stop there. Ed started calling me Dad more, whether it was in private or whether it was in front of the family. I was extremely confused. Earlier this afternoon, I picked him up from his school. When we reached home, I went to my mother and jokingly said, "This random child has been following me the entire time. I think he's lost." We have a way of joking that I think is pretty wholesome. I'm sure he enjoys it too. Ed playfully tugged me on the arm and said, "How dare you say that? I'm your son." Now here's where I might be I didn't want him to grow up believing that I was something I'm not, so I gently responded, "Ed, I'm not your dad. I'm your older brother, okay? We share the same mother." Ed replied, "You're my dad now, because my real dad is never coming back." Hearing that tore my heart and I didn't know how to respond. I hugged him, but he didn't seem too happy and left. My mother pulled me aside later and told me that I shouldn't have said what I said and that I have hurt his feelings. I tried to explain that as much as I understand his feelings, I wanted him to know who we truly are to each other and didn't want to devastate him later in life. I also mentioned how awkward it made me feel. She said that maybe Ed is calling me Dad not because I'm his actual father, but maybe because I'm one of the safest masculine examples he's got. Upon reflection, I'm starting to feel very guilty about what I did. I think my mother is right. Perhaps I was a little too harsh. I need some people to talk sense into me. AITA?